You're listening to the Poised Powerhouse Podcast. My name is Dr. Seida Hood, and I'm obsessed with empowering women like you with practical life strategies to live authentically without compromising your wellness. I used to be caught up in the hustle hard mentality until I learned that my quirky little traits I thought weren't that important actually turned out to be the secret sauce I needed to step boldly into my purpose and create impact, not only in my life, but so many amazing women around me. Organizing your schedule, launching impactful programs, redefining leadership without code switching or compromise, and stepping boldly into your God-given assignment are all topics we'll discuss here. Think of this podcast as that Sunday brunch with your girls that feels so therapeutic you can't wait to get to it. But let's clarify, this is not a substitute for a relationship with a licensed therapist. All right, grab your notebook and your coffee or your tea. We don't discriminate over here. And let's start the show. Welcome back for another episode of the Poised Powerhouse Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Seida Hood, vision architect, executive leadership consultant, and a licensed therapist. Boo. What is in your mug today? What's in your mug? Today, I have been drinking my purified water because we are staying hydrated and minding our own business. Okay, let me stop playing with y'all. I also have a cup of coffee. So this is the Nespresso Iced Forte. When I tell you, if you an Nespresso bae and you love coffee like I do, or you have an espresso and you haven't tried the Iced Forte, hit it up. Hit it up. Hit it up, girl. Hit it up. I'm telling you, it's fire. It is typically my go-to coffee for the summer. They have the Iced Ligero, which is a espresso pod, and I use the Iced Ligero as well. Typically, Iced Ligero if we want that latte, and then the Iced Forte for just a straight-up coffee brew. I feel like in the summer, I have more time to actually brew or make a latte because, of course, lattes have more in them than the actual coffee. So there is that. I'm not even finna hold y'all. I'm gonna pause really quick and turn on the lights because it's low-key about to storm in a minute. So if you hear some rain in the background in like 2.5 seconds, we just gonna add it as a part of our experience. Hold on, girl. I'll be right back. So that's what's in my mug. Today, I am feeling grounded, grateful, peace. I have a sense of peace. I'm feeling steady, and I'm really ready to pour into y'all today. Like, I'm super excited. And you already know I want to hear what's in your mug. So you can do that one of two ways. One, you can comment down below this video to let me know what's in your mug. Or if you're listening to the episode, you can tag me at Dr. Seida Hood and let me know what you sipping on with a screenshot of this episode. All right, let's just get into it because a few years ago, I had a version of all the success, the title, the money, the clients, etc. And girl, I was still over here drowning in hustle fatigue. And I'll explain to you what that means later on in this episode. But I thought that success in all the ways that I had seen it meant grinding until you can't grind no more. But baby, let me tell you, that's not sustainable. And I think you know that, which is why you're here. So in today's episode, I'm breaking down what hustle triggers and hustle fatigue really look like, why traditional routines do not work for your real life, and how to experience a reset right here, right now. We are kicking off a 2-part series on how to build reset routines that actually work for your real life, not just for your Pinterest board, Bookie. But before we talk about routines, I want you to experience a reset right now, right here, right now. We're going to practice together. And if you were at Showing Up Softly, you already got a glimpse of what this feels like. But I want you as a podcast listener and someone who's watching the video to experience this reset with me in this moment right now. If your hustle has been louder than your healing lately, it's time to reset. Grab my free Aligned Ambition bundle at the link in the show notes or underneath this video. This bundle is your guided experience to reset your energy, reclaim your rhythm, and build success from a place of alignment, not exhaustion, boo. Can't wait to see you inside the bundle. Cheers. Unless you're driving, go ahead and settle in, boo. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Take a slow breath in through your nose. Exhale it through your mouth like you're letting go of the pressure to be everything to everybody. Let your spine settle. Let your mind rest for just this moment. You're not broken. You're not behind. This is your reset. This is your moment. Did you feel that shift? That moment of stillness? That's the energy I want you to move from. Not just today, but every day. Let's pop back into the episode and talk about what's been stealing peace from you and how to get it back. How was that? Did you enjoy that? You see how that didn't take up very much of your time? You have time and space in your day to include more of those moments. Let's talk about those invisible moments that kick off your overwhelm spiral, because I call those hustle triggers. It could be when an email lands in your inbox after 6 p.m. and you start to feel guilty for not answering it, or when you feel like you finally sit down and take a breath and your brain is like, you should be doing something else. And maybe it starts off small, right? You're cleaning up dinner and you think like, oh, let me just fold this last load of laundry. And then while you're folding, you remember that you didn't schedule the client follow-up. So you grab your phone, and then when you grab your phone, you see a DM. And now by the time you turn around, it's 10:23 p.m., girl. You are mentally buzzing, but physically drained. And you still haven't sat down to just be. That's the hustle trigger. And when it keeps happening day after day after day after day, you know what that turns into? What I call hustle fatigue. That's when you're not just tired, you're literally weary, like your soul is weary. But you keep going because slowing down makes you feel like you're failing. And you push through, boo. I know I'm in your business, because rest feels like weakness, or like you can't measure up, or like you are not on par with everybody else that you see. You're burned out, but somehow still performing at full volume. Sound familiar? Well, let me tell you, I remember one night I sat on the edge of my bed with my planner open and I just felt overwhelmed, just overwhelmed and like I couldn't think, like I didn't know what the next step was. And then the tears just started to fall. Why? Because it felt like I was failing. I was pouring my heart and soul into everything, into birthing this thing and following this vision that I believe God gave me for this period of my life. Yet all the pieces seemed to be scattered. And I wasn't crying because something bad happened, but I was crying because I was so tired. And I didn't know how to stop. I had all the things that I prayed for at that point in my life. And people have this, this vision of what perfection will look and feel like, but it actually is different when you get every single thing you prayed for. And so I was feeling overwhelmed and I recognized that I had everything, but peace still felt really far out of reach. And I kept saying, I want to slow down. I want to slow down. I want to slow down. But I felt like I couldn't do it. Why? Because hustle culture tells us that being busy equals being valuable, that we have to earn our worth through our output. But let me tell you something that I've been saying, boo. You listening? That is not value. That's just being exhausted in a cute outfit, baby. It's burnout dressed up in productivity, baby. And I need you to know it does not have to be that way. For my media queens and my bibliophiles or my book boos or book bays, book girlies, that squad, if you haven't read Slowed Productivity by Cal Newport, you need to check it out. It will rewrite the way that you see productivity. He did a lot of different studies on when this idea of output for humans became the definition of productivity and why we view that as our worth, why our self-worth is tied into that. Now, when I say routine, I ain't talking about those rigid hour by hour blocks that look good on paper when you see all the digital planner girlies or even the physical planner girlies, and it's like every second of their life is decided, even down to like brushing my teeth routine. Like it's those type of things. And that's fine. That looks good on paper, but they fall apart. Those routines fall apart the moment life gets to lifing. So those don't work. And you know the ones I'm talking about. You know the ones I'm talking about. I bet you one popped into your head right now because you probably have looked at that girl's post and been like, dang, how come I'm not as fill in the blank? How come I don't have fill in the blank? Girl, where your calendar says workout at 5:30 a.m., but your baby was up crying all night, or you are just physically exhausted. So it doesn't work. Where your planner is color coded to perfection, but you already behind before your feet hit the floor because it was unrealistic to begin with. Child, that ain't no routine, honey. It's a setup, okay? Because life does not run on ideal conditions. It runs on reality, okay? A reset routine, the kind that we build inside of the Aligned Ambition Bundle, is not about squeezing your life into somebody else's structure. It's about building a rhythm that moves with you day by day, season by season. You can have a 2-minute rhythm or a 2-hour one. You can reset with breath work in your car or a slow Saturday morning in your journal. It's not about how long it is. It's about what it does for you. Does it bring you back to yourself? Does it help you exhale? Does it create space for you to just be, not do? Because these rhythms aren't about productivity, they're about preservation. They are what help you create the reset before you break down, not after you've already hit the wall. They create buffer zones so you ain't snapping at your kids. Breathing room so you're not crying in the parking lot before the meeting. A margin so you're not running on fumes and faking your way through the day. You see what I'm saying? Your routines should serve you, not the other way around. And if your routine demands that you show up like a robot in order to feel successful, baby, it's time to fire that routine, okay? Because we don't do that over here. We need rhythms that bend with our life, that flow with us, that honor our bodies, our energy cycles, our capacities. We are not machines. We are women with dreams, with vision, with faith, with real life values, with real intention and purpose to live out. So hear me when I say this. The goal is not perfection. The goal is preservation. The goal is not rigidity. The goal is rhythm. And most of all, the goal is you fully aligned with God's present plan for you, fully resourced, honey, fully present in every moment that He gives you, and fully free to show up as the real version of you. Okay, let me be real with you. Reset routines do not build themselves. You have to be intentional. You have to work them in. Even when everything in you just wants to push through, here's the reframe I need you to catch. Rest is not weakness, and it's not just self-care or wellness. Rest is a power move. It's a conscious decision to lead from clarity, because when you pause and you take that time to rest, you get clarity from the Holy Spirit to lead from clarity, not chaos. It's saying, I refuse to build success by sacrificing myself. It's choosing rhythms over rigidity, impact over the illusion of impact. And I could get all up into that because social media is a straight okay. I'm staying focused. I'm staying focused. It's about choosing alignment with God's will over exhaustion of my own strength. It's about trusting that when I am in alignment with God's will, He's going to make up the areas that I lack. And listen, boo, I ain't just gonna hype you up and leave you hanging. You already know that, because in the next episode, we are getting all the way practical, okay? This was part 1. You gotta come back for part 2, because that is where I am walking you step by step through building your own reset routine, live and in real time. So I want you to bring your notebook, bring your coffee or your tea, boo, and most of all, bring your real life, not a cookie cutter version. We are not chasing perfect. We're building rhythms that can stand up to real life curveballs, okay? You know those little things that just nourish your heart, mind, and soul? Those little gems dropped in your week that make all the difference in your day, but are seemingly unimportant? Like the person who went out of their way to do something nice for you, or that amazing sermon on YouTube that just hit exactly like you needed it to? Well, I'm sharing my weekly nourishment with you. And if there's something that nourished you this week, I'd love to hear about it by tagging me on Instagram at Dr. Seida Hood or dropping a comment underneath this episode. Here we go. This week, my nourishment came from sitting on the porch for about 15 minutes and engaging in Lectio Divina. If you don't know what that is, it is a practice that has been around for years in the Christian community of reflecting on scriptures and making the scriptures real, active, breathing, meditation on the word for real, like pausing, being in the moment, just taking a verse or two and allowing the Holy Spirit to like speak through you, being fully present with God in that moment. And so, number one, I think I told y'all this last year, I really love my porch. It's like a place of peace and safety and comfort for me. And so this week I got to really experience a deeper version of peace. And I was just fully present. That moment reminded me again and reiterated that my worth is not found in everything I do. It's in who I am, who God created me to be. You feel me? Today, we talked about recognizing your hustle triggers and hustle fatigue, why reset routines are flexible rhythms, not strict schedules, and how to start weaving resets into your day your way. Here's your action step. I want you to pick a 2-minute reset rhythm this week, and I want you to try it. Set a reminder, make it sacred, pause, pour. Then I want you to DM me on Instagram at Dr. Seida Hood and tell me how it went. Next up, I want you to grab the Aligned Ambition Bundle. It is completely free. And this bundle is not just a download, okay? It is an invitation back to you, back to your hopes, back to your dreams. Okay. If today's episode blessed you, share the love, boo. Share with your mama, share with your auntie, share with your best friend. Subscribe to my channel, leave a review, screenshot it and tag me with your biggest takeaway on social media. And then share with your folks, honey, your mama, your auntie, your best friend, because you know they could use it. Then head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You already know we're trying to grow this community, boo, and you are a part of that. So I would love to know what you thought of this episode. Well, that's all I have for you today. I'll see you on these social media streets. Bye.